YouTube, what's happening? Your man in the building again, Chucky B, Chucky Brown, the Gypsy. The Gypsy because of my many travels for those that are just tuning in for the first time. All right, today. All right, rocking the New York Mets hat. Shout out to Robinson Cano. 5 RBIs last night. I was a big Mets fan growing up. Um, Rusty Staub, I said Cleon Jones, John Matlack, Tom Seaver, Jerry Grody. When the Mets won it in '86, I was ecstatic because the Mets, it's a Yankee town. New York is a Yankee town. New York is a Giants town. You know what I'm saying? So the Mets and the Jets are like the little brothers. All right. So I'm rocking the Mets hat today. But I am a Yankee fan. Since moving out of New York, I became more of a Yankee fan. But when you live in the city, when you live in New York City, you like one or the other. You can't like both. So when I was living in New York, I was a Mets fan. I ain't gonna lie, I was a Mets fan and I was a Jets fan. Mainly because most of my friends were Giants fans and Yankee fans. So in order to argue with them, because I like to argue, my father always told me I should have been a lawyer because I always like to argue. He used to argue with him just to argue. But yeah, let's get into it today. Zion Williams signed with Team Jordan. Now, my question is he saving the Jordan brand? You know what I'm saying? Bringing that new face in there. I don't think I don't think he's saving the Jordan brand, but the Jordan brand needed a young face on their shoes now because you got Chris Paul, Carmelo's not in the league anymore. Who else? Russell Westbrook. They're all in their 30s, older. So the Jordan brand needed a younger guy to come in there. So that's a great signing by Jordan. Jordan has done great things, building his brand. Now you see football teams wearing Jordan brand. Michigan, University of Michigan, they wear Jordan brand. Of course, Carolina's going to wear the Jordan brand. And I'm sure there are others that will jump into that. So that's a great thing. Now, what I'd like to see the Jordan brand do, hopefully one of them is listening. I'd like to see the Jordan brand expand to the female sports as well. It's like how about women's soccer at UNC? All right, I'm being biased there because my daughter plays soccer for the UNC women's team, and I would like to see the Jordan brand. She asked me about that, so yeah, I'd like to see the Jordan brand expand to the women now. You know what I'm saying? Like the women's soccer program at UNC. Let's start there too. Not only work with the men, but work with the women too. All right. Next thing, do great players make great coaches? I asked that because Tim Duncan was just added to the San Antonio Spurs staff. But we've seen in the past where I don't think great players have made great coaches. Like Magic was coach. I don't think Magic was a great coach. I think Bird was a great player, but there was a difference with Bird. Bird didn't have the athletic ability that most great players have. So I'm gonna kind of give him a pass on that. You know what I'm saying? Havlicek was a great player, but then they didn't have the great athleticism. Dave Cowens, those are Hall of Fame players. But then again, they weren't blessed with the athletic ability. Do great players make great coaches? Now, Phil Jackson was sort of an average player in the NBA, and he's considered to be one of the greatest coaches. All right. My greatest coach is Larry Brown, but Phil Jackson is right up there. Trying to think who else. Great player, great coach. Pat Riley was supposedly an average player. Pat Riley, I thought was a great coach, super hard worker. That's the thing. I think that great players that are talented, they have the talent and the work ethic. So I think it's harder for them because they expect people to be good as them. Like Jordan expect people to be good as him. Magic expected people to be good as him. So I'm not sure. I don't think that great players make great coaches. It's a good argument. It's a good argument to have. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could have this, with a round table or something like that. That would be awesome to have. But I don't know if great players. I think average players make great coaches because they know the work ethic that it takes. Mark Jackson. I thought Mark Jackson was a pretty good coach. Steve Kerr, pretty good coach. So I think like the average players make the better coaches because they know the work that you got to put in. That they're not always the ones that are most talented on the team, you know. So I think that they make the better coaches than the great players. All right. Next thing, NBA. I said this before. NBA is about to investigate these, contract dealings before the free agency. Now, I said this before, man. They're doing backdoor deals, man. Everybody knows that they're doing backdoor deals. So now all of a sudden you're gonna act like you don't know that this stuff was going on. These agents are talking like you have a situation where Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes didn't have a great year, but he opted out of a lot of money. I forget how much it was, but he opted out of a lot of money. And people were like, well, dang, why is he opting out? But then a few days later, he signs a deal for more money. So, in my opinion, you got to know what's going on. He had to know he wasn't risking that like that. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't going to take that chance unless he knew that he was going to have another deal. Al Horford, the same thing. Al Horford passed on himself, had a pretty good year, but he passed on a lot of money too to get more to go to Philly. So that's where it started. Boston felt like he was tampered with. And I'm quite sure his agent was making deals. They were talking, these people see each other all the time and they're talking all the time. So I do think that I don't know what the NBA can do about that though. Because that's still gonna go on. It's gonna be a matter of, what's gonna happen is somebody gonna agree to a deal and say, yeah, we're gonna come to your team. And then at the last second, somebody might swoop in. Somebody's gonna commit. Somebody's gonna remember where you heard it first. Somebody's gonna commit to going somewhere, and then all of a sudden say no and go to another place. Then that team is gonna tell on the other team and maybe have the conversation recorded or something. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. You're not gonna call me the Gypsy. I'm gonna steal Paul Mooney's name. You're gonna call me Negro Damas after that happens. All right. All right. So, all right, they rank like the highest franchise the worth of the franchises, and Dallas Cowboys came in at 1 at $5 billion, which is crazy. So Ezekiel Elliott saw that. So Ezekiel Elliott like, yo, Jerry Jones, $5 billion? Really? Let me get mine. You know what I'm saying? So Dallas was at $5 billion. The New York Yankees came in second at $4.6 billion. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of money, floating around here. Manchester United was number one. And they dropped to 6 at valued at $300 million. So, I mean, these sports franchises are worth a lot of money. And it says a lot that, for years it was Manchester United, it was the European soccer clubs that were worth more than the American football teams, baseball teams, basketball teams, all that. And I think the Knicks might have been up there also. I think the Knicks were up there as well. Like the Knicks were the highest paid, highest worth the most, was the basketball franchise worth the most. The New York Knicks were up there. So, but yeah, these franchises have gone crazy with the money. So it's a lot of money out there. It's a lot of money out there. So with that being said, take care of the players. I'm always going to fight for the players. Always. Last thing I'm going to talk about, Adrian Peterson's agent says he trusted the wrong people with his money. And, I just talked about this too in a previous show. There have been many athletes that have been, and how this came about, let me go back. How this came about is that a company, Adrian is being sued about a $5 million loan that he took out. Now, it's said that Adrian has made up to $100 million in his career. And, I'm not in that man's mix or nothing like that, but, you do have to be careful who you trust with your money. It's happened to athletes over and over again where they've been done wrong. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was one of the first people that was done wrong as far as his money. And there have been guys after that, most recently that I can remember seeing a story on Dwight Freeney. Dwight Freeney played for the Arizona Cardinals, and he was up in age, and I was like, man, he's still playing. After like a person in my position is different. Like you stay as long as you can, because I didn't make the money that those guys made. You know what I'm saying? So what I tried to do though was save. But one thing I will say that athletes today are a little smarter, um, and you don't necessarily have to have like someone watching over your money. You need to watch over your own money. You need to learn the financial game. Learn that game. Don't just give your money to somebody and trust them with it. Learn the financial game, and learn the stock market. I invested myself in my own little stocks. I used to learn like that, make my little mistakes, but I learned that way. And you ask questions. So, don't trust anybody with your money. And to see Adrian Peterson have to go through this is a little disturbing at this day and time. But you have guys out there, these guys out there that can claim they can do so much and they could get so much uh, money for you. Learn the game yourself and do it yourself, because like my father used to always tell me, nobody's going to take care of you better than you. You know what I'm saying? So, my opinion on that, hey, Adrian Peterson, hopefully, he gets it right before he has to retire. I don't know when the NFL, when they have to, or when they'll be able to get their pension and stuff like that to help them out. But hopefully, things work out for AP. Because I'm a big Adrian Peterson fan. When he came back from the injury so fast, I mean, the dude is just a straight beast. So, good luck to Adrian on that. Now, my shout out to Dan Lebertard. Like I said, on my show, I talk about anything I want to talk about. So I don't have any producer. I'm my producer. When I do my jerseys and dress shirts podcast, I have a producer, and he may say something, and hey, I gotta listen to the producer there. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm the producer, like I said. So I'm gonna go on my Dan Lebertard, my political rant now. All right. So today is the big day that everybody's making a big deal about Mueller going in, Mueller, whatever his name is, going in, and they want the public to know what's in the Mueller report, right? So here's my thing, all right? We already know what the dude did. You know what I'm saying? I don't call the dude in the White House, I don't call him the P word. I don't call him that, because that's not what he behaves like. He has no class. He has no tact. He the one thing I will say about him that I do like, he's unapologetic. You know what I'm saying? He says what he says, and that's it. So that's probably the only thing that I do like about him. But we know he's dirty. Now he's passed. He's trying to countersue to not have his taxes released. Look, if you're not doing anything, there's nothing to hide. So we know, you've been praising Russia and all that stuff. We know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. But my thing is this. If we haven't impeached him for the sexual assault violations, if we haven't impeached him for the lies, he's actually created a job. Someone has a job created to count his lies. You know what I'm saying? So if we've not impeached him for those things, then let him finish his term out. I don't think that the Democrats should put so much on Mueller or Mueller, whatever his name is. I don't think they should put, you want to put all this trust and stuff into him and thinking that he's going to be the one to help get Trump out of office or impeached. It's almost a 4 year, 2020 is almost here. Let Trump finish his term and let's have some policy talk and let's get him out of there, because his policies are not helping. His policies are helping the rich. So let's get him out of there with policies that are going to help the middle class or help rebuild the middle class and the poor, and get him out of there that way. You know what I'm saying? So I think the public needs to know, but don't put so much on Mueller, saying something that's going to make people change their mind, because people his followers have drank the Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to change their mind. So it's become a lot of tribal politics, and that's just what it is. So get out and vote, and let's vote that clown out of office. All right, that's my political rant. I'm not going to be suspended. I'm not going to be fired, because this is my show. I don't get paid, and this is free. I got no overhead to pay. You understand what I'm saying? So thanks for tuning in. Remember, be nice. It don't cost a dime to be nice. Make somebody smile. All right, make somebody smile for the day. All right, let's see if that's the challenge. That's my challenge to you every day, is you have to make 2 people smile. All right, per day. All right, leave a question, comment, or whatever. Leave a thumbs up, thumbs down. If you don't like it, let me know. Let me know what I can do better. But by the time this reaches everybody, I'll be pretty good at it. So I'm going to make my mistakes now, but hopefully people enjoy it. Hey, check your boy out. Have a great day. All right. Peace.